Hey everybody, Mike Iaconelli here. Welcome to a brand new In the Shop. But guess what? We're on the lake today. And in today's shop video, we're gonna give you the lowdown on a technique that is a known technique, but we're gonna give you a spin on it. And today's shop video, we're talking all about how to feather a chatterbait. How to feather a chatterbait. Okay, guys, you know what a chatterbait is. It's a bladed jig style lure. This lure, I would say in the last 10 or 15 years, has been dominant. Guys like Brett Hite, Marizo Shimizu, the who's who of bass fishing have won tournaments with this thing, and not just won, but dominated. When you look at a bladed jig, you've got a metal blade, you've got a jig head and a skirt, and then you put a trailer on it. And really, to me, a chatterbait is a hybrid lure. It's part spinnerbait, you've got vibration and flash. It's part jig, you've got a jig head with a skirt. And it's sort of part crankbait too, right? Because you've got a vibration and you could work it throughout the water column. But 99, maybe not 99, 95% of guys will throw this chatterbait 10 foot or less, and they'll predominantly throw it at shallow cover. Guys, it's perfect for that stuff. It's great for that stuff, especially in the spring. Oh my gosh, that shallow cover fishing is great. But feathering allows you to fish a chatterbait deeper, slower, and lower. Many times in places where they don't see this style lure, and you elicit a lot of reaction strikes. So we're gonna talk all about that today, okay? Let's start with the bait, the trailers. Then I wanna real quick talk about the rod, the reel, and the line. And then we're gonna show you how to fish this and where to fish this feathering chatterbait, okay? First one is the bait. Honestly, guys, any chatterbait style lure will work. The Z-Man chatterbait patent is over. Everybody and their brother has a chatterbait right now. So in general, as long as it's a traditional bladed style jig, I like it. But for feathering, we're going to go with the heavier sizes, okay? So don't want the quarter, don't want the 3/8. For the feathering technique, 1/2 ounce or greater, okay? My favorite two sizes are the 1/2 ounce and the 3/4 ounce size. For me, the 1/2 ounce, I would say that 10 to 20 foot zone, the 1/2 ounce is a great size. You've got a lot of control of a 1/2 ounce chatterbait style lure bladed jig in that 10 to 20 foot zone. When I get deeper than 20, guys, I just go to the 3/4 ounce version. I've caught them as deep as 40 feet with the 3/4 ounce chatterbait using this feathering technique. Happened on Bull Shoals about 8 years ago. The lake was super high, and I'm just using this technique, catching bass that never see a chatterbait that deep. So 1/2 ounce, 3/4 ounce, perfect. On colors, guys, I leave it so simple, you would not believe it. And I carry 3 main color patterns based on the forage. You know my rule of thumb, match the hatch, right? If they're feeding on bait fish, shad, alewife, herring, shiners, I like whites, pearls. I like more of the silver style shiny blades on those baits. I'm really just trying to imitate the bait fish. Number 2, this is one of my favorites, and you're gonna see some B-roll in this video of fish catches using this technique, is a bluegill colored chatterbait, guys. So a chatterbait that has green pumpkin, watermelon, orange, some purple in it. Really, really love those with the gold blade or the painted blade is perfect. So bluegill colors. Last but not least, my third favorite color for this feathering chatterbait technique, black and blue. Black and blue. And guys, you think about black and blue, it's a great imitation of bluegill. It could be bullhead, it could be catfish, it could be whatever. But it's also a great imitation of crawfish when they're molting their shell. Almost all the crawfish, when they're going through the molting process, have a little black and blue in the shell. So it's a great color when you're trying to imitate crawfish as well. So keep it simple. Now, trailer, guys, trailer is really, really critical. And I want to explain to you the 2 main trailers that I use to allow this bait to get deep. Because remember, again, we're not up shallow just doing this. we're going to use a technique that keeps this bait slow and low. And because of that, we want to select trailers that have a lower action, okay? So I got a jig laying here in the deck, and I'll just show you. I love a big double arm, double crawl. This is a shape 108 by Berkley. I love that trailer on a chatterbait when I'm fishing shallow. It actually gives the bait lift, which is what you want when you're fishing shallow. But when you're not fishing shallow, guys, you want the opposite. You want this bait to not have lift. You want it to fall. So primarily I'm using 3 styles of trailers, guys. The first one, and you're going to see a lot of these from different companies, and I call them pintail style trailers. So it's got a shad style body, and it just tapers to a thin tail. It's an excellent trailer for this feathering technique because it has no lift. The nice thing about that one too is it also gives the bait a little looseness and allows it to hunt, okay? So trailer number 1 for feathering, pintail style trailer. Trailer number 2, and this is a good one because it has a little bit more action in the back, but not a lot of lift, is just a smaller boot tail style swim bait. This is a Berkley Power Bait Grass Pig. The only thing I do is I like to bite it down. So I'll bite about maybe 2 inches of that. When I bite that down, I'll thread it on. I always want the paddle facing the opposite way of the hook. It's going to give it maximum action. And it doesn't have a lot of lift, but gives you an extra little kick. This will actually make the chatterbait run straight. And there are times when you're feathering, when you don't want it loose and hunting, and that's the trailer. Last, but definitely not least, guys, this is a good one, is a beaver style trailer. My favorite, without a doubt, is the Berkley Maxent Creature Hog. I'm basically matching all these trailer colors with the color of the bait. So we've got the green pumpkin party color. But when I rig it, guys, I'm going to rig it sideways. So I want to show you this real quick. I'm going to thread it on there. And when I rig that Creature Hog on there, when I present it sideways, look at that profile. Looks a lot like a bluegill, a panfish, a perch. It has that wide look to it. So love, love, love the sideways beavers on these as well. Okay, guys, now I want to get a little into the rod, reel, and now we're going to get to the thrust of this video, which is how to fish it, how to feather this chatterbait in deeper water. Okay, rod and reel, 2 main rods and reels that I'm going to use. Using the 1/2 ounce in that, 10, 12, 15 feet of water. Guys, I'd love a 7-foot medium to medium heavy action rod. It's a perfect rod. It's a great all-around rod for that 1/2 ounce feathering technique. This is the Abu Garcia Ike series, 1/2 ounce medium or medium heavy. And then gear ratio on the reel. Guys, this is so, so critical. You purposely want a slower gear ratio. Okay, I know a lot of you watching this video are like, I only buy 8-to-1s. I only buy 9-to-1. I only buy burning fast reels. If you're fishing a chatterbait up in that sallet in a foot of water, it's a great ratio. But for feathering, a way to force yourself to slow down is by going to a slower gear ratio reel. So I'm always dropping down to the 7-to-1 gear ratio in these reels. The nice thing about this one, guys, this is the Abu Garcia Ike series, 7-to-1. It's a low profile, lets you feather, lets you purposely fish it lower. Okay, the other one, now we're talking 3/4 ounce chatterbait. And because you get that bigger head, it's a heavier bait, I like to go 1 size up in rod. So instead of the 7-foot, I'm going to go to the 7.4. And I definitely like the medium heavy action. So just a little bigger rod, 3/4 ounce chatterbait, little heavier, but same thing on reel. Guys, do not overpower reels, 7-1-to-1, or even a little lower, 6-8-to-1, something like that. Perfect for feathering this bait. All right, last but not least, talk about line. Remember what I keep telling you. Feathering, we're going to get this bait low, and because of that, we want the bait to sink. So for you guys that love braid, get rid of the braid. For you guys that love monofilament, get rid of the monofilament, because we don't want line that floats. We want line that sinks. And for this feathering technique, I'm going to use 100% fluorocarbon to the knot. Really allows me to not only get the bait deeper and keep it deeper, but I'm 100% certain that a chatterbait has better action with straight fluorocarbon. And that's the truth, okay? Line size, honestly, 15 to 20 pound fluorocarbon. I tend to go with the 15 on the half ounce. When I get to the bigger one, I tend to go with the 17 or 20, but it's the perfect line for this feathering technique. Okay, I want to really show you, before I stand up and actually walk you through these casts, I want to kind of show you what you want to do with this bait. Remember, we want this bait low, and we want this bait to look like something that's dying, trying to get away, dying, trying to get away. That's that feathering technique we're talking about, okay? And we really want to get this bait in the lower part of the water column, and as it's sinking to the bottom, a lot of times, guys, I purposely let it hit the bottom. But once it does, I'm going to pull up with my rod tip. When I pull up my rod tip, I'm going to follow it down with controlled slack line. So here's what's happening. You've got a chatterbait that's fallen, and it's kind of randomly, aimlessly falling. It hits the bottom. A lot of times the fish follow it down. They're looking at it. And when you lift your rod back up, that blade kicks in and it vibrates. It vibrates up. Those fish follow it back up. And they're like, this thing's trying to get away from me. So it's coming off the bottom, and then you kill it, let it fall in semi-slack line. When it aimlessly falls again, that's an instinctive thing. All of a sudden, that fish is saying, this thing trying to get away from me is now an easy prey. It's injured again. And they go over and gobble it. Guys, these bites, and I hope you get to see some of the bites from the footage in this video, these bites are mind-blowing. They will pop your line. They will hit you like a ton of bricks. Sometimes they'll hit it and come right at you. And so letting that bait fall on a controlled slack line is very key. Listen, when that bait's falling, if your line is totally slack, if you've got like this in your line, you're going to miss some of those bites. The other thing is we don't want to let it fall on a tight line, because when we do that, it pendulums unnaturally, right? It swings away unnaturally. So a controlled slack line on the fall allows that bait to wander and allows you to see the bite, okay? So slow and low, coming up, falling down, coming up, falling down. That's the feathering. All right, I'm going to stand up and I want to show you how I position my rod and how I use this lure to feather. All right, guys, the first thing is when I'm feathering, like a lot of other techniques, maybe like fishing a jig, fishing, some other techniques, I always like to cast past the target, okay? So, if I'm fishing a point or a ridge or a brush pile or the mouth of a ditch, I like to cast past the juice, past the good stuff. So, I kind of know where I'm going to be fishing with this thing. I make that long cast out there. The first thing I do is I'm going to let it sink to the bottom, okay? So I'll click over 0 to 10, 0 to 15. I'll click over, and I'm just going to use my body and my rod to keep that controlled slack as it falls. During the initial cast, about 10% of the time, one will hit it on the initial fall. So make sure you're watching, okay? So I'm watching my line, I watch my line, boom, the line bellows out. That means the vibrating jig is now on the bottom. And guys, this is all the feathering technique is. You ready? So rod position, if you look at it, it's about at 3 o'clock. I'm going to lift up to about 12 o'clock, and I'm going to follow it back down with control line. Boom, hits the bottom again. I'm going to lift. I'm going to follow it back down until it hits the bottom again. Boom. So 3 o'clock, lifting to 12, following it back down. Here's the great thing about a vibrating jig. When you lift again, guess what you're going to feel? The vibration of the blade. If the vibration of the blade is not there, guess what? You either have a bite or you have something on it. And a lot of lakes that has vegetation. This one does. It has cabbage. It has milfoil. It has rivergrass. If I don't feel that blade vibrating and it's not a fish, here's all I do. I give it a snap. It cleans it. Remember, that blade's metal, so it's sharp. So it'll clean it. Give it a snap. Immediately let it fall to the bottom and start over again. 3 to 12. Boom. 3 to 12. Boom. 3 to 12. Boom. And as that bait lifts, it vibrates like crazy. This is a great technique for deeper water to present a lure that fish have never seen. Guys, if you like what you're hearing, do me a favor, subscribe to my channel. If you like these videos, give me a subscribe. If you're already a subscriber, tell your fishing friends about the channel. It's Mike Iaconelli Fishing on YouTube. I hope you enjoyed this video talking about a technique that doesn't get talked about, feathering a chatterbait.